Rain has a way of making everything feel heavier. That night, it wasn't just the storm pounding the street. It was the words glowing on my phone screen that stopped my heart. "Can you come get me?" He locked the door. Before we get into the story, if you enjoy emotional, real-life inspired stories about kindness, love, and unexpected human connections, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps the channel grow and allows us to share more meaningful stories like this on your channel name. I stared at the message for a long second, rereading it to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding. The rain outside my apartment window blurred the streetlights into long, glowing streaks. It was late, too late for casual texts, too late for drama. Her name was Lily. We weren't close friends, we weren't exes, we weren't even coworkers anymore. We were just two people who had once shared coffee breaks and awkward laughter in a small office downtown. Life moved on, as it always does. Different jobs, different paths, fewer messages. Then silence, until that text. I typed back immediately. "Where are you?" Her reply came fast. "His place." I tried to leave. He took my keys and locked the door. "I'm outside now. It's raining." That was all I needed to know. I grabbed my hoodie, my keys, and ran out the door. The rain soaked through my shoes before I even reached the car, but I didn't care. I kept thinking about how her words sounded, short, shaky, scared, the kind of fear that doesn't scream but whispers. When I pulled up to the address she sent, I saw her right away. She was standing under a small porch light that barely worked, rain dripping from her hair, her white shirt clinging to her like she hadn't planned on being outside. Her arms were wrapped around herself, not just for warmth, but like she was trying to hold herself together. When she saw my car, her shoulders dropped. Just a little. Like her body finally allowed itself to breathe. She got in without saying a word. For the first few minutes, we just sat there. The windshield wipers moved back and forth, filling the silence. I didn't push her to talk. Sometimes kindness is knowing when not to ask questions. Finally, she whispered, "I didn't know who else to call." "You called the right person," I said, and I meant it. She told me bits and pieces as we drove, how the relationship had started out normal, sweet even, how small things slowly turned into rules, how arguments turned into control, how tonight, when she said she was leaving, he laughed and locked the door like it was nothing. "I felt so stupid," she said, her voice cracking, like, how did I let it get this far? I kept my eyes on the road. "You're not stupid, you're human." That's when she started crying, not loud, not dramatic, just quiet tears sliding down her cheeks, mixing with rainwater. I handed her a napkin from the glove box and pretended not to notice how my chest felt tight. When we reached my apartment, I hesitated for just a moment. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. I didn't want her to feel like she owed me anything. "There's still room at my place," I said gently. "Couch, spare blanket, hot shower, no pressure." She nodded, "Thank you." Inside, the apartment felt warmer than usual. I gave her dry clothes, made some tea, and showed her where she could sleep. No awkwardness, no expectations, just safety. That night, I lay awake listening to the rain slow down outside. I thought about how close she had come to staying somewhere she didn't feel safe because she didn't want to be a burden. How many people do that every day? How many stay silent because they think their pain isn't important enough? The next morning, she looked different. Still tired, but lighter somehow, like someone who had survived something and didn't even realize it yet. Over breakfast, she said, "I kept thinking I should just deal with it, that other people have it worse." I shook my head. "Pain isn't a competition." She smiled at that. A small smile, but real. She stayed for 2 days, long enough to call her sister, long enough to make a plan, long enough to remember who she was before fear started making decisions for her. Before she left, she stood at the door, keys in hand. "You didn't have to help me," she said. "I know," I replied, "but kindness isn't about having to." Months passed. Life went back to its usual rhythm. Work, bills, coffee, rainy nights that felt less heavy than before. One afternoon, I got another message from Lily. Just wanted you to know I'm okay. New apartment, new job, therapy, and I help when I can now, because someone helped me. I stared at the screen, feeling something warm settle in my chest. That's the thing about kindness. You rarely see how far it travels. Sometimes it looks like opening a door. Sometimes it looks like offering a couch. Sometimes it's just replying to a message when someone is brave enough to ask for help. We live in a world that often tells us to mind our own business, to protect our space, to assume the worst. But every now and then, life gives us a moment where we get to choose who we are. That night, I didn't do anything heroic. I didn't fight anyone. I didn't save the world. I just showed up. And sometimes, that's enough to change someone's life. If this story reminds us of anything, it's this. You never know how close someone is to breaking or how much your kindness might matter in that moment. A text answered. A door opened. A place offered without judgment. So if someone ever reaches out to you, scared, unsure, standing in the rain, remember this. There's almost always room to be kind.